and welcome to Comic Book Action Theater. My name is Rik Crab, your host, and before we go any further with this episode, I want to take this time to wish everyone watching this that you and your family are safe during these times. It's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of scary stuff. Hope everybody is safe and healthy. Those of you who lost work because of this, I hope you find some soon. Those of you who have to work on the front lines, like our first responders, our doctors, nurses, everyone who works in hospitals, even the food retailers, truck drivers, I appreciate everything you do and hope you get to do that safely as well. But on to some positive business. Basically, I wanted to do this to distract all of us for a little bit. I think I can entertain you with this program, and especially with this episode. I also want to do it to distract myself a little bit too, because in addition to this scary virus, there's some personal things I'm going through right now, but again, just deal with the positivity right now. And this particular episode, we're going to be talking about 3 letters.
This is the XFL!
No, Vince, not those 3 letters, even though I'm wearing a t-shirt for your football league. A team called the DC Defenders. And the Defenders, they actually have a slogan. It says, Shields Up. Speaking of Shield...
Wow. The Shield making their way through the WWE Universe!
No, Vince, not that Shield. Come on. Don't you have a show tonight at Raw? Come on. No, we are going to talk about these 3 letters right here. MLJ. And this particular book is called the MLJ Companion. It's a history of a company that we now know as Archie Comics. Alright folks, welcome to Comic Book Action Theater. And with me on the line, I have the co-author of the MLJ Companion. He wrote the book with Mr. Paul Castiglio and Mr. John B. Cook. And on the line with me, I have Mr. Rik Offenberger of the MLJ Companion. Thank you for joining us, Rik.
Oh, happy to be here.
Okay. All right, Rik. Obviously, I found out about your channel originally from the Lost Heroes of the Golden Age channel on YouTube, and I saw that you had a fan club revolving around one of the MLJ's main characters, the Shield. We'll get into that later on, but first I want to ask you, how did you get interested in these particular sets of characters? Because seems like you have like a good core, maybe, I don't want to say a cult following, I'd say it's probably more sizable than that, but how did you get started with the MLJ/Archie characters?
Well, I had seen them as a kid. When I was a kid, there were no comic specialty stores. So you had to get old comics from like used bookstores. And I had seen the Archie characters in the Mighty Comics, as back issues. And I flipped through them, and they just, they were interesting looking, but I probably didn't have a real feel for them. And I had them in my public library. When I was a kid at the public library, someone had donated a ton of comics, and so you could check them out. But I didn't really get into them until the Red Circle line launched. When they started comic specialty stores, my comic store had the Adventures of the Fly and the Mighty Crusaders, and I picked up the first issues of each, and I was hooked.
Oh, nice.
Immediately, I was drawn to the Shield and the Lancelot Strong character. I liked patriotic characters to begin with, and it gave me the whole vibe between the Jay Garrick and Barry Allen Flash. That they had one that was a Golden Age version, one that was a Silver Age version, and in the front, Robin Snyder had these columns where he would talk about the history of the characters. And then that made me remember that when I was a kid, my father had bought the flashback reprint series that Alan White had done, where he had taken Golden Age comics and basically photocopied them. Nice. And sold them as black and white. And I have the one with the Hangman and the Pep number 1, and those were really nice too. But I just really hadn't made the connection until I owned the Mighty Crusaders.
I understand.
I've been following it every incarnation ever since.
Oh, great, great. Now, I want to ask you about the MLJ Companion itself. I just finished reading it last night, in fact. And, folks, if you have any interest at all in comics or superheroes, and definitely in the MLJ and Archie characters, I would highly recommend it. One thing I liked about the format on this, Rik, was you had your table of contents where you had the different articles, but you introduced, basically you started the book with Golden Age stories of a lot of the main heroes, of the Hangman, the Shield, the Black Hood, and then you went into your articles. And what I liked about it was, when you see it, it looks like it would be like a long history, like a biography, I guess, if you will, of the MLJ Company, but what I liked about it is it was formatted like a magazine, because it had like different articles contributed by you, by Mr. Castiglia and Mr. Cook, and among others, and a lot of interesting interviews with that. How did that particular project get started?
Well, I got contacted through Paul Castiglia, who I'm in touch with tomorrow. They have a companion series of books, and they had written a quality companion, which they sent us a copy of, and Paul had asked me if I wanted to write it. And so I was happy to write it, but I had asked him if he could stay on and edit with me, because I had never written a book before, and he had had experience writing books. And so as we went on, he wanted to write too. And then John Cook had joined us. He was originally our book designer, but he also had ideas that he wanted to contribute. And he did do all the book design as well. And it looks beautiful, so I'm really happy with the work he did. But we all ended up contributing. I have a website, mightycrusaders.net. And it was a network because I started off with a Shield-only website on GeoCities when GeoCities became a thing. And Bradley Cobb, who's featured in the book with a lot of the Impact stuff, had a website called Mighty MLJ, and he gave me his website. And so when he gave me his website, I merged his website with mine, and then a gentleman named Martin Scott had a website, the MLJ Handbook, or the Mighty Crusaders Handbook, and I merged that together, and so we really became a network of different websites put together. And eventually we got Sean Clay's website, too, which has all the Golden Age stories. So I have a reading room there, and you can read all the 217 Golden Age issues of the MLJ Comics right there. I've got unpublished stuff from the DC Impact when they didn't end up doing Phase 2. I've got unpublished work that they were going to do with Captain Strong when they were going to run him in his own book. And Lancelot Strong was going to be Captain Strong, although that's not finished. But you can see what's there. And we've got some interesting stuff. And I just collected this over the years. I was on their internet early, and I just wanted to collect all the information I could about the Mighty Crusaders in one location for people. And that's basically what turned into our book.
Interesting. And I saw also, too, after perusing through the companion, I noticed that MLJ tried to reboot the superhero division several times. I mean, you mentioned earlier the Mighty Comics division, that was during the 60s, which was interesting. It seemed like they were trying to follow two trends with that. It was like they were trying to follow the Marvel Comics that had just started around that time, as well as the Batman TV series, and they even had Jerry Schuster was the writer on that, if I'm not mistaken. But
yes, well, I mean, they started before then. They started in the 50s with The Double Life of Private Strong and Adventures of the Fly. And those two were started with Simon A. Kirby, and they were ahead of Marvel in the relaunch of the Silver Age.
Right.
But as time went on, they changed things up, and then you could see the influence of the camp style. And through Belmont Books, which Archie also owned, they published High Camp Superheroes as they leaned into the camp, and they saw that as a trend. And I mean, they really. And people look at this and say, oh, they were trying to steal the Marvel style. But if you look at it, it's not really the Marvel style. The Marvel style was a lot of angst and a lot of personal grief.
Right.
Whereas the DC style was very happy-go-lucky. And they had a third flavor, and people don't just look at it and say, oh, this is strawberry. They look at it and say, oh, that looks a lot like Marvel. And certainly they did try to give them more personality. But it was certainly a lot more silly than the stuff that Marvel was doing, and of course Archie was silly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they were giving a different flavor of superhero, and I mean, they're the only, Marvel, DC, and Archie are the only characters that have been around for 80 years continuously published. Now, Archie has fits and stops. Every 10 years they reboot. But if you look at DC, they're rebooting every 10 years without stopping publishing.
And now recently it seems like even more recent, like every year or so, Marvel as well. I mean, it's kind of confusing for new readers.
They're not unique in all the reboots with the MLJ. It just looks more unique because there's a gap between the publishing. Archie sells so well, it's hard to launch a superhero line when you don't already have the readers and build that to the point where it sells as well as Archie does. And so then the question becomes, how many resources do you invest in that until you have a hit? And they keep trying, and literally, I mean, over and over again, they keep trying. And they try with different veins and different styles, because almost every reboot is a slightly different style, trying to catch a market that wants something slightly different than Marvel and DC. Because if you can't get out and be absolutely better than Marvel and DC, you have to be different, and you have to try and catch a different trend. And I mean, if you had Image sitting there saying, well, we're going to just do Marvel and DC light, they wouldn't be the powerhouse they are now, because they've got a variety of different flavors. It's a legitimate strategy.
Also, I think, too, with that company, and this is probably more so true with, like, the Red Circle lines, you know, the late, and Spectrum and the later lines. Archie management, they still wanted to stay within the comics code and try to stay, and I know they were trying to go to the direct-to-sales routes with the comic book stores, but they also still wanted to keep the agreements they had with, like, mainstream retailers like supermarkets and that sort of thing. So I'm guessing there was kind of a conflict with that as well.
Well, there are a few elements to it. With the Archie Adventure series, they launched Adventure the Fly and Left Strong and Shield, and the Mighty comic line. That was all newsstand. And at the time, the Silver Plates and the Goldwaters were on the Comic Code Authority board. So there was no moving away from the Comic Code Authority. They were the Comic Code Authority along with people from DC and Marvel. When they launched the direct market, Archie was one of the original publishers with the launch of the direct market, and they launched the Red Circle line as a direct-only line, so there was no newsstand presence on there. And so they didn't have to worry as much about perception, but they were still very, very concerned that their bread and butter was the Archie line. That was a very wholesome line, and so that's what ended up settling the Spectrum line. When they were going to relaunch the Spectrum, they realized that what they needed was something with a little more hard edge than they'd done with Red Circle. And then when they saw what they got, they decided that although it was good, it wasn't something that they wanted to be associated with, because they thought that would hurt their mainstream sales. They thought some parent somewhere would get a copy of the Red Circle book, tie that to Archie, and protest or boycott or feel somewhat unsafe. And Archie not only is it actually owned by the original families that founded the company, but they have multi-generational readers. They're the only ones who are at a supermarket checkout stand with their digest, and so they're all across the country everywhere you go. And you have grandparents that are very good about buying Archie Digest for their grandchildren, and you have parents thinking nothing about buying the digest, not having to look through it, knowing that they've got something that is a reasonably fun and safe pastime for their child. And Archie didn't want to lose that perception to push at superheroes again that had never been their bread and butter since the 40s.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you can't blame them for that, because, like you said, because I remember reading in the Companion and also on other websites, and I think also in your club, too. It was like, at first, Archie and Betty and Veronica, they were backstories in Pep Comics with S.H.I.E.L.D. and other heroes as the lead, but then people started writing in and started making Archie more popular, and then at that time, it was like the end of World War II, and superheroes everywhere was more or less being phased out, and humor and romance comics were kind of taking over, and then Archie just happened to fall right into that, and they've been successful with it ever since.
Yeah, well, after Sebastian Innocent was published, and they blamed comic books for juvenile delinquency, and the Comic Code Authority arose, the Comic Code Authority was designed to keep them in business. And so Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman survived at DC, but nothing survived at Marvel. And with superheroes, they wanted to be a monster comic company, and they did a lot with monsters and aliens and things. And DC did a lot of science fiction stuff. And Archie went just to straight humor and started they canceled the Shield feature in Death, and all the other superheroes had gone because it just became too difficult to market things. And newsstands were refusing the comics if they didn't have a Comic Code Authority. EC Comics went out of business. All they had left was that magazine. It was a hard time, and people don't realize it now, but in the 50s, it was almost impossible to publish superhero comics. And when it was time to reboot them in the 50s, Archie was right there ahead of Marvel. They just weren't more successful than Marvel. But you figure eventually the Fly ran through 50 issues, and if you count the Mighty Comics that it turned into. And that's a decent run, especially since it wasn't monthly. And they had the Fly in Pep, and they had the Fly in Laugh comics as well. And there was a Fly Halloween costume. Then there was a Super, and there was a Mighty Crusaders board game. And so they were doing decent, especially for the number 3 company.
Right, yeah, I was going to ask you about that later, because I even saw at the end of the companion you had a picture of the Fly Man mask. I know they called him Fly Man for a little bit as well, but yeah, I remember seeing that, and then, that leads to something else I wanted to ask you, as far as, other merchandise or media. I mean, for example, I remember the Filmation Archie cartoons. In the companion, I read about a Fly movie, and then there was also the radio show, The Black Hood, which actually I will be airing that later on in this episode. What's interesting about The Black Hood, they produced several episodes, but only one of them they were able to save the recording with that. You tell us what you remember about that, or through your research.
The Black Hood was a live radio show, so it was a lot. They did it live on the radio. The recording that you hear is a table reading they did after the fact, which is why there's a recording of it. But the actual show was broadcast live, and it was successful, at least for its time. And the Black Hood also was in pulp magazines. Almost all the pulp characters, like the Shadow and Doc Savage, made it over to comics as a transition, but the Black Hood is the only one who went the other way from comics into the pulp magazines as the Black Hooded detective. But he was their most successful crossover character into other genres.
Once again, we are with Rik Offenberger of the MLJ Companion here on Comic Book Action Theater. Now, Rick, I mentioned that several people contributed articles to the companion. I want to talk about one that you contributed yourself. And I first learned about this by joining the Shield G-Man Club, which we'll discuss later on. But I remember you sent for last year's edition, you sent a membership packet with trading cards. And I noticed the artwork of one of the characters. He had a member of the Shield, instead of with the stars and stripes of the American flag, he's wearing a British flag. And I also learned on the back of that card, he was Canada's version of the Shield. Tell us a little bit about that, since you actually wrote that article in the companion.
Oh, sure. In Canada, during World War II, they weren't allowed to import U.S. comics. They were trying to strengthen their own economy and be self-reliant, and things that they didn't need as essential items, they weren't allowed to import during the war. A lot of the comic publishers were in New York, and they would send the art, the script, whatever they needed to Canada, and have a Canadian publisher publish them. And in the case of the Shield and the Archie characters, they sent the first issue to Citron News Service in Toronto, and they reprinted Pep 22, and they redid the cover so that instead of having the U.S. flag, the Stars and Stripes, they had the Union Jack, which happened to be the Canadian flag during World War II. And so then he looked like a Canadian superhero. Inside, he's not wearing the Canadian flag. Inside, he's wearing the American flag, and they just really just put the printing plate north and reprinted it and printed it as a Canadian publisher. After the first few issues, they moved to FDH, F.E. Howard, and printed there, where they continued the same idea, where they would redraw the cover with the Canadian artist and give the Shield a British flag costume instead. And that happened during the run that he had in Canada. The Black Hood was also recolored where he was red and black instead. And then there are a variety of variations of the Hangman costume on these covers. But there are a lot of Canadian cover-only characters where they're full reprints of the MLJ Comics on the interior, but not on the covers.
Right. Now, I want to talk about some other chapters in the book. We mentioned earlier about some, like the Red Circle and the Mighty Crusaders, and then I saw later on they eventually released some of the characters for DC briefly. And tell us what your feelings are about that and the direction that they took with the characters.
Well, I was a comic book retailer at the time that Impact launched, and I was there for the meeting that DC put on where they, it was a retailer summit where they talked about the launch of Impact. And they were looking at the rise of Valiant and Image Comics, and they wanted to do an all-ages reader launch, but because those launches had been so successful, they didn't want to tell everyone it was all-ages line of superheroes. So they had worked out a deal with Archie to lease the characters from Archie. And they had started the Impact line. And Mike Gold was the editor on that, and Mark Waid wrote a bit of that. I think that they had taken all the elements that had been fun about the characters and tried to make a full universe of it. It's always hard to say when you're trying to build a brand new universe what elements were important and what elements weren't, because they weren't just doing the original Archie series. They were trying to start over for brand new readers, and they were trying to start over for younger readers. And the idea they had when it started was they were going to launch the all-age line, and when the readers would graduate from the Impact line, they'd start buying Superman and Batman, and they could attract a younger audience. And that whole idea was very appealing to Michael Silverplate when they licensed them. And so that was their first year and a half. And some of the ideas with the Shield were fairly close. They kind of blended Lancelot Strong and Joe Higgins together. One of the things I always like about the Joe Higgins character is that an FBI agent, when G-Men were a thing that was real big at the time, and so he was a superhero when he wasn't a superhero in his private identity, and he was a superhero as the superhero. He also finished his father's scientific research and created his own costume. So he was much more proactive in his origin, much as Batman was. Right. And when they put him in the Impact, they had used some of the Private Strong idea, and they'd used part of that idea that some of his powers were in his suit, which, and so they kind of made him into Iron Man. And in addition to making him into Iron Man, they made him an Army deserter as he ran off with military equipment. And it wasn't my favorite idea that they'd have him as he's the hero, he's on the run from the government, and maybe he's a criminal, and, but they did something very similar to that with Captain Atom, too, with maybe he was a war criminal, and so I think that was kind of the mindset of, you like that question, you like the whole, fugitive angle.
Right.
And so I think they introduced many of the characters. It was amazing in a year and a half how many characters they were able to introduce. They did a whole who's who, and lots of guest stars. I think it was a decent attempt, and I think that it was an interesting idea what they did. The whole problem came when they switched editors, and they decided they wanted to do a regular line instead of a children's line. or a young reader line. And when they did that, they entered a lot of more serious ideas and a lot more mature concepts, and that didn't fly well with Michael Silverglate, because he was of the mindset that DC was going to do a younger reader version that was more in line with what Archie was doing anyway. And so they agreed to cancel the line rather than do the full relaunch. Mm-hmm. And that cancellation led to Crucible, which was the final miniseries that was going to launch the new line, turning out to be an end. And they had to rewrite the ending of that. Mm-hmm. But it was nice to see how they did with the relaunch. It would have been nice to see them have more longevity. But certainly, if you're the owner of the property and they want to deviate that far from the original agreement, you may or may not be happy with that, and they weren't happy to go ahead and do that, the way that Michael was hoping it would be done. They had a similar issue with Thunder Agents. When DC tried to do the Thunder Agents, it was delayed for about a year, as they had disagreements over the way the characters would be treated, not that it had anything to do with Archie.
Once again, we're with Rik Offenberger of the MLJ Companion here on Comic Book Action Theater. Now, another line, probably one of the more recent reboots, was with the Black Circle. What you mentioned about the Shield with the fugitive angle, I kind of saw that a little bit with the newer incarnation of the Victoria Adams version of the Shield, where at the beginning you see her, she's running from, federal agents in D.C., she doesn't know where she is, and she's traveled through different times. I wanted to ask you about, with her and with another character during the Red Circle, Jaguar, where you had gender swaps. As part of the reboots, and as well as I think with the web as well. Tell us, what your feelings are about that per se.
Well, I think the issue always is that it's your favorite character. You wish they wouldn't change it. And if it's not your favorite character, you say, oh, well, that's a good idea, because they don't have enough representation. All the characters were done in the 40s, and they're all white men, and the Archie heroes have less superpowers than many of the groups, although much of what Ham's superpowers was eventually stolen and used in the Marvel Universe. If you look at Comet, he turned into Cyclops. The Fly became Spider-Man. In fact, the Fly was originally called Spider-Man when they started the whole concept in the series. A lot of the ideas were just rebooted and retaken. In fact, Marvel even made their own Fly and called him the Fly and made him look like the Archie Fly as one of Spider-Man's villains. Mm-hmm. But it's just... I'm sorry, I lost my place here.
No, I was asking about the gender swaps of some of the characters, but...
as long as... I really enjoyed the female Jaguar story when I read the Impact stories, but you always want an and instead of an or, because I don't think that people would be unhappy that you have a female Jaguar as long as you have the male Jaguar too.
Right.
And, Marvel had that problem when they did that with Wolverine, where they replaced Wolverine, and the fans wanted Wolverine back. And the same thing with the Shield. I like Victoria Adams. I enjoyed all those stories. And I'm not unhappy to have a female Shield. I just like the original Shield, too.
Right.
Just like when Red Circle started, and they had both Joe Higgins and that's the last song running around in their universe as the Shield, there's no reason you couldn't have both the male and the female Shield.
Right.
They always had a Fly Man and a Fly Girl, or just a Fly and a Fly Girl, depending on which era it is. But, I don't see that as being a problem, but certainly they avoided it, both Marvel and at Archie. But, you can enjoy all the characters. I don't think that one makes you pick the other lot.
Right. One thing I enjoyed with her character, more so when she was the leader of that edition of the Mighty Crusaders, where you still had Joe Higgins, the original Shield, kind of running things, and it was interesting that she appeared to be younger and was kind of like looking at Joe Higgins as a mentor, where actually she was older because she fought in the Revolutionary War, and every time it seemed like America was at war, she would be reincarnated somehow.
Yeah, but she doesn't appear to age at any of those times. Her age appeared to be static. Whereas Joe Higgins, they first used him in the New Crusaders, and he had a Sean Connery-like look. He was a little older and a little grumpier. And then they gave him a shave and put him in that version of the Mighty Crusaders, and he was the Broken Shield, as he had a problem with his leg and wasn't able to be in active duty. That version of the Mighty Crusaders was supposed to be a blend of the original Mighty Crusaders and the New Crusaders, but actually only Steel Sterling made it into that version because the Shield wasn't an active member, and they didn't actually use any of the other older characters. So for many of the readers, it didn't really feel like that blend happened.
All right. Yeah, it kind of sort of reminded me of, like, say, like the Young Avengers or, like, the Teen... Well, not necessarily Teen Titans. More so Young Avengers because they were kind of like a legacy group. They were... Some of them were, second or third generations of the previous, MLJ.
Oh, yeah, I loved the New Crusader series. And there was a digital version called Dark Tomorrow, which was going to be the second miniseries, and that's a lot of fun, too. And that's done in a more serious style. Although New Crusaders is pretty serious, it just looked a little cartoony, which was intentional. They wanted that feel from Sonic where they had a lot of male readers. But they're killing off characters, they're having prison riots. New Crusaders, was as contemporary as any Marvel DC comic.
Once again, we're with Rik Offenberger of the MLJ Companion. Now, Rick, I mentioned it a couple times already. I want to talk a little bit about the Shield G-Man Club. First of all, when I first joined it, I sent you a direct message about it. I think it's very generous of you to set something like this up for free. The packet that I received, you gave not only the trading cards that I mentioned, you also had a badge, you had some bookmarkers as well, and you'd also mentioned that a lot of the artwork's contributed by members of the club. Tell us a little bit about that and how people can join it.
Well, the Shield G-Man Club started with step number 1 in 1940. And the deal was you sent in a 2-cent postage stamp, and you got a membership card and a badge, and which was a conduct button. And I liked that idea, and Archie took over the club at one point, and you were encouraged to mail in your membership card, and you get a free Archie membership card and a free Archie button, as they had canceled the Shield G-Man Club. So in 2003, I started the Shield G-Man Club up again myself among the different website owners who were running the different MLJ websites. And that continued until I was the last man standing. So then after I'd written the book, I thought it would be fun to bring that back as a general club. And so we had some buttons and some cards, and started a Facebook group under Facebook group, Shield G-Man Club. And so anyone who wanted to join could have one if they wanted one for sending in the postage. And that was going to be, a brief little entry into to the club, and then you felt like you got something for joining, and it gave the throwback to the 1940s club. And I thought that was all fun. But then we had a lot of members who contributed and wanted to make this thing a bigger deal. And so it didn't start off with everything that it has right now, but we started with Mark Webster donating the Shield art. And it was all free. Everything in there is free from the people who donated it. He donated the Shield art and a Shield trading card. We just had one. And then as other people liked the idea and got into it, we ended up with a whole series, one for each Shield. And I thought that was kind of cool. And it was Rick Fox, and he said, well, we need a bookmark. And that bookmark came from artwork from Mitch Clark, who did the whole series of all the Shields standing together, and we turned that into a bookmark. But, yeah, everything was because everyone in the community wanted to support each other. and wanted to donate this and make this, a shared experience. And we're doing a magazine now, a fan club magazine, just like the old fanzines. And again, it's just the members of the fan club donating their time to write articles, to contribute art, to put it together. And again, it's nonprofit. There's no money made anywhere in this club. The fanzine is free to download on Kablam, and the owner of Kablam is also a member of the G-Man Club. And then if you want a print copy for any reason, they will, at whatever cost the printer charges, no profit to the club whatsoever, no profit to anyone working on the magazine. You can get a print copy, and he'll print them up on demand one at a time. Oh, and mail it to you, just like the old days where you used to mimeograph these things, except their quality is a little better than a mimeograph.
Right.
But one of the things I really like about the club is that we all are in it together, trying to support one another in this hobby, and the different pieces that we know and we want to share, or the artists who want to share their artwork, all of it is almost for the love of the characters, to do something together with the characters themselves. And so that makes me feel really good. I feel good about, the parts that I do. Makes me feel good about the other people do. It's just, it's nice to have people who want to be part of the community.
Now, I was going to ask you about that, but I'm glad you mentioned right in. It was an excellent segue. What is the name of the magazine, actually?
It's Shield G-Man Club fanzine.
Okay, all right. Which is
really on the nose. It's actually our club's fanzine. And we don't publish any comics, stories like that.
Right.
Because we're not trying to infringe on Archie's copyright on any of this stuff. It's all journalistic articles or pinups, just like the old fanzines had, where you get articles about different things that people know about. You get there's a company putting out a fan film, Archie Studios, and they're working on a part where they're going to give us an update on their fan film. And the people there have donated some art, too, to the fanzine. And I got to give a shout-out to my partner on this, Jim, who's the editor on there and doing all the production work, because that's a bear. And to do production work. And so I just kind of solicit the material for the fanzine and try and work with people who want to contribute. But Jim's making it actually into a magazine. Otherwise, it's just... nowhere. And so, he's not making any money off this either. He's just donating his time to try and make this nice for everyone else. And so that part I really appreciate as well.
Well, to expand on what I said earlier, it is really generous of you. And, I mean, it seems like it's a labor of love, not only for you, plus the fact that fans are submitting artwork. I know you and I have spoken privately about, I dabble in photography. I wanted to arrange some cosplay photo shoots of some of the characters. I was hoping to air it with this episode, but with world events the way they are, I had to push them back. So, I will contact you when I get those ready. I want to send those to you as well. And I definitely want to get them exposure on the fanzine.
Absolutely. I mean, because everyone knows just little pieces here or there, or knows little trivia. And, I don't know everything about these characters. They've been around for years. But, as everyone comes up with little bits of information here or there, it's nice that they all contribute. And it's nice that they want to put something together for everyone. One of the things we discovered was that Red Rube looks exactly like Errol Flynn in the posters for Captain Blood, including the shirtlessness, including the cape, including the coloring. Because you look at it, at a character like Red Rube, who's one of the only two characters that Archie didn't continue a copyright on there. Two of them fell into public domain. Mr. Satan, and who's obviously family friendly, and then Red Rube. And Red Rube looked a lot like Captain Marvel, and they didn't continue with him, but the look is 100% stolen from an Errol Flynn movie. And that was kind of interesting to discover that and look at that as well.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the Golden Age characters, a lot of them were inspired by different celebrities. I had heard, for example, that Fred McMurray inspired the look for Captain Marvel, and Judy Garland for Mary Marvel, that sort of thing. Once again, we're with Rik Offenberger from the MLJ Companion here on Comic Book Action Theater. Now, Rick, one other project I want to ask you about, now, correct me if I'm wrong, I was looking at in the group, I wasn't sure if, is this an actual line of comics, or are they just kind of like, I don't know, tribute covers for some? I saw you had something called G-Man Comics, where you had different other international versions of the Shield, that sort of thing. Could you expand on that, sir?
Well, it started in one direction and took a sharp left turn. The idea was that Mitch Clark and I were going to get together and do a series of mock covers. If you look, Kevin did a series of Mighty Crusader mock covers after the series ended, where he did the solicitation blurb, just a paragraph of what the story would be, and he had a series of covers as if the Mighty Crusaders had never ended with the Red Circle line. So I looked at that and I thought that would be fun, and so Mitch was going to do 3 characters on a cover was the idea, and so we would use 2 of the MLJ characters and one of my own characters, which was Agent Shield, which was just an idea of how I thought the Shield should have been handled all along, but everyone has their own opinion. So I didn't think much of it. He was going to interact with 2 characters on the cover, and I was going to write together a little solicitation blurb, and our goal was to do 100 covers. And we put together a body of work, and people would see this as just a series of mock covers. And so that's going along, and Eric pointed out that he was doing something similar with mock covers, and that I should get to know Gilbert Monsanto's Arena, where Gilbert did a series of art with these characters, and the original characters. So while we're going along doing our 100 covers, Gilbert started drawing Agent Shield in the Arena, and we did some mock covers with his art for that. But our friend Mitch didn't make it to 100 covers. He got in an accident. He was on his bicycle and was hit by a car, and he was in the hospital. And geographically, we're pretty far apart, so we didn't have much contact. He's in Hawaii, and I'm in California. And so when he came back, we started doing this again. And then he said to me, Mitch said to me, do you want to do an actual comic? And I told him, no, I don't really want to do an actual comic, because I had two original characters I was using in the series. The first one we started with Agent Shield, and the character's name is Simon N. Kirby, as you can imagine where that came from.
Right.
And I thought that was funny and cute. And so, as we were going, I decided that I wanted to introduce another original character in this, who would be just as patriotic but on the other end. Whereas this character was an FBI agent, so he was more about process and building teams and things like that, and more of a Silver Age style character. I wanted a 80s style action character. Like an Arnold Schwarzenegger character, where you drop him in the middle, or a Sylvester Stallone character, you drop him in the middle of a problem, and he's the one who rescues everyone. And you've seen in all the Rambo movies. And so this character I named Rob Liefeld. Rob McFarlane, I named. After Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane. Right. But the same idea where you'd be an action hero. And again, this was just covers only. We were just going to have some fun with it. And, it wasn't a separate series. It was just he would guest star from time to time. As we went and did a series with some of the war characters from MLJ, we thought that would be appropriate. And let's do something with some Nazis and things like that. But Mitch decided that he wanted to produce his own comics, some AI comics that he's producing. And selling on Lulu. And so he stopped before we hit 50, before we hit 100. And so while all this was going on, we took some of the characters who were original characters appearing in the Facebook group, and we put together a handbook. just for fun.
Okay.
And again, it's a free download, and if you want it, they print it at whatever cost the printer charges to print and ship, and there are no profits to any of the people who participated. And it's Joe and Jim and me and Eric, and we put together some original characters. They're just in post in the group, and put out a handbook just so it would be fun, the words and stories. That was it, and we were done, and that was last September. But after Mitch dropped out, Eric had mentioned that maybe we should actually do a comic. I talked to Gilbert, and he was game. So we're actually going to do a Kickstarter at some point this year with a real comic. And so now the real comic has to be different from the mock covers because I'm not interested in using any of the Archie owned characters and infringing on their copyrights.
Sure.
So eventually we will have some art done. We have just a splash page fully colored and finished, and then a 2-page spread in ink that we've put up on the website, and that's all we really have there. And we've got a variant cover finished by an artist who will name later. But we're in a very, very slow process towards a one-issue story that we're going to do on Kickstarter, and if it's financially successful and everyone's happy and we get to actually pay our artists and make enough money to cover that and cover the printing and our cash positive, we might do a second issue. If it doesn't really turn out to be successful, then it'll be a one and done, and it'll be an interesting experience, and I'll have actually produced a real comic. But we're doing it Marvel style, and I gave my plot to Gilbert, and so he's got the whole plot now. He's working on the art, but he's doing his own thing, and he's got other comics he's working on, and he's running the arena, and he's got his own life going on, and all of us have to deal with the coronavirus.
Sure.
So I don't know how much that, I know he works from home, so I don't know how much that impacts his, time in the studio and all that, but I'm sure it can't be pleasant, but. So, but we're moving along at whatever pace we're moving along. We don't actually have a deadline for this. We don't have anything really going on. We did set up a website for Keyman Comics, which has a link to the free downloads for the fanzines and the handbook that we did. And anyone who is stuck at home and wants to read a fun fanzine about Golden Age comics, it's absolutely free. You just can go to g-man-comics.com, and there's a little button on the right-hand side that you click, and it'll take you to the download site at Indie Planet, and you can download all the issues. We've done it monthly, so there's January, February, and March there. We have April at the printer as we speak, and I don't know if this will slow things down to go live as a digital version or a print version at any point, but our next issue is supposed to be out in April, and so that gives us more than a month to still actually hit our deadline on that. We're just wrapping up the issue for May, and so they'll be done there. We haven't committed to a 6th issue yet, but we're as long as it's fun for all of us, if we're donating our time, as long as enough people donate material to put together 40 pages of a fanzine, and then we'll keep going. And so I have every expectation that we'll get to 6, just because we have people who have talked about wanting to donate to 5 and haven't done it yet, so I assume that will all flip over into 6. And then we'll see. 7 would be July. It would be nice to do something for the 4th of July. But again, we're just doing this for fun, and so as long as it's fun and people want to participate, we'll keep going.
Well, hopefully we can, and hopefully things do revert to some sort of normalcy, after what's been going on lately with Corona. Once again, we're with Rik Offenberger of the MLJ Companion. Rik, before I let you go, you had mentioned already the G-Man Comics web address. Could you please give the address of the other project you mentioned earlier, the Mighty Crusaders website, and as well as any other projects that you want our viewers to be aware of.
Well, the only other thing I got going that's ongoing concern is First Comics News, which is a serious comic news site. It's not the fun and games that the other projects are, because the other ones are just hobbies. First Comics News, I had started as superhero news with Yahoo 22 years ago. And when it came time to move it from Yahoo to its own website, someone else was sitting on the name Superhero News. They never used it. They just registered the domain and one person if you wanted to buy it from them. So we changed the name to First Comics News. And we cover more independent comics than we do mainstream comics, but of course we do cover Marvel and DC. A lot of members of the G-Man Club are reporters there, and we try and give a real good shake to independent creators and let them get their message out there and show what they're working on. We cover some independent films, we cover wrestling, but the bread and butter is comics. And again, although we cover everything Marvel and DC does, we've got more in-depth coverage with independent comics that need more help and more of a spotlight where they're not actually seen as well on the two major websites. I used to work for both of them at one point, and I branched out to do my own thing. Originally, it was going to be part of a website called The Pulse, which was very popular in its day, and I'd put together a business plan to take over The Pulse, but we never ultimately reached an agreement. But I had a business plan, so I took my business plan and my reporters lined up, and we started First Comics News to do proof of concept on the business plan. And we've been doing that forever now. And we get 3 million hits a month, so we're doing something that people like to see, and so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, well, look, during these times, as you mentioned earlier, sounds like you have a lot of interesting reading for us to do while we're staying in. Rik, before I conclude this interview, I want to ask you, where can you purchase the MLJ Companion? I bought it recently on Amazon. I know it's available there, but where besides that outlet, where else can folks?
It came out in 2016, so it's 4 years old now. So it's harder to find that in the bookstores itself.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be in Barnes & Noble. It used to be everywhere, but you can get it everywhere books are sold because it's still available. You can get it direct from the Tomorrow's website, and that's our publisher. And you can also get it on Amazon.com. You can get it on BarnesandNoble.com. You can get it at Walmart.com. Anyone who sells books still carries it. It's just they don't carry it in their storefront anymore. Whatever their initial order was has long since been sold through, and they have a pre-order for the shelf. So you do have to want it to get it, but it's not hard to get.
Right. Now let me ask you something about this. I saw at least 2 different covers for the publication. How many runs did they have? Have of them?
It's only one print run. I had a piece of artwork that I had that was a calendar that Irv Novak did that was never printed. They never published.
Right.
And Irv Novak has passed, and the company that had put it out had appeared to have gone out of business. So we had originally assumed that it was, it was now just available to use the artwork, and since it had never been used, we were going to use it. But it had the character standing on a crushed swastika. So the first issue became that Paul Crusaders felt uncomfortable with the swastika, or even if it was crushed and they were standing on it.
Right.
So then we had the artwork altered so that the swastika became just a concrete block standing on. And that image, I believe, was sent out in color. Mm-hmm. And so people saw that initially. But the owner of the artwork turned out to actually still own the artwork and asked us not to use it because, which we fully accepted. And we weren't going to try and steal anyone's anything. So we had to commission a new cover, which we did. And so the cover you see on the book is the one and only cover.
Right.
The other was just our idea of the cover. It was just a penciling of Novak that we had just assumed had all lapsed because of the length of time, not only since it was produced, but, it was dead. So we didn't think there was anything there still.
Right.
But, and we paid to have it inked, and we paid to have it colored and put together as a book. But that was just one of the, it was a mistake, and it was probably a mistake mostly on my part because I was the one who had discovered the art. And, I had shown that to him. But, you live and learn. I mean, so we went ahead with a different cover.
Sure. Yeah, so basically you're saying the previous cover was really just a first draft, but because of the copyright issues and the ownership issues, you went with the current one that's currently on the book. That was what ultimately made it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Very good. All right. Once again, folks, you've been listening to Rik Offenberger from the MLJ Companion here on Comic Book Action Theater. Rik, thank you very much. I have in the mail my application for the 2020 version of the kit, and when I am able to get the cosplay shoots available, I'll send the images to you. I'd love to publish them in the fanzine, for sure.
I'd love to, if I listen to it, I'd love to have everyone see them. I already saw the shots of the actresses you had planned and which characters they were going to play, and it looked like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this will be fun for everyone when they actually get around to this. And hopefully we're all out of quarantine pretty soon, and life will go back to normal.
Couldn't agree anymore. All right, Rik, thank you so much for doing the interview. Folks, we'll be right back, and very shortly we're going to play an old-time radio episode of one of the MLJ characters, the Black Hood, here on Comic Book Action Theater.
The Black Hood. Criminals, beware. The Black Hood is everywhere. I, the Black Hood, do solemnly swear that neither threat, nor bribe, nor bullet, nor death itself shall keep me from fulfilling my vow to erase crime from the face of the earth. The Black Hood, who is really Patrolman Kip Verland, a fact known only to newspaperwoman Barbara Sutton, has just been talking to Barbara on the phone. They were discussing the old miracle man and his strange housekeeper, Wamba. Sergeant McGinty, Patrolman Verland's superior, had thought their visit to the voodoo doctor merely routine. But Kip Verland and Barbara Sutton were fascinated by the black magic of the old miracle man. In fact, the old man had given Barbara an odd emerald ring in a twined serpent setting. Wamba, the old housekeeper, objected to the gift. We find a telephone conversation between Kip Verland and Barbara Sutton has been interrupted by a stranger at Barbara's door. Verland is holding the line.
What are you doing here with a gun? You can't come in.
But I can't, Yes. Well, I'm in, and no one's going to stop me either. Not till I get what I came here for.
You can't get away with it.
Are you all right?
Yeah, there's no one around. I made sure the doorman was out. I came in and I walked up the stairs.
Well, I've heard enough of that. I'd better get over to Barbara's in a hurry. It's time for the Black Hood to go to work.
I've told you time and time again, that's all the money I have in the apartment. You've got all the silver and linen. What more do you want?
Now, I'll have that emerald ring on your finger.
This ring? Why, that's not worth very much.
That's all right. I'll take it anyhow.
It's on my finger, and that's where it's going to stay.
I wouldn't want to have to shoot it off.
Well, aren't you satisfied? You've got everything of value in the place. I'm going to keep this ring.
Now, look here, I've tried to be nice with you. It looks as if I'll have to take it by force.
Stop!
That'll be
there. Open that door.
Someone here to help me, eh? Well, I'll get that ring yet if I have to kill both of you.
There he goes, Kip. Up the window down the fire escape.
He didn't hit you with one of those stray bullets, Babs, did he?
No, I'm all right, I guess, except for my finger. He almost twisted it off trying to get this ring.
You poor kid. Well, he certainly made a fast exit.
I'll say he did.
Look here, he left his loot behind. Did you get a good look at him?
Yes, and I'm glad I asked you to hold the line. Guess I'd better hang up the phone now. He had a mask over his face, and he wore a dark blue suit. Yes, and he had a cap on, too.
That is right. Here's his cap.
What an experience. I'm glad he left all that nice silver and linen behind anyway.
Babs, I have a hunch he never really wanted that stuff to begin with.
Well, what makes you think that?
Because here's the roll of bills, too. Your money, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Now, any good, self-respecting robber puts money in his pocket, no matter how quick a getaway he has to make. He certainly takes something with him. Now, this visitor of yours was after something else, Babs. Here, let me look at that ring.
Here it is. I guess that's what I get for accepting presents from strangers. If the old miracle man hadn't given me this, it all might not have happened.
Yes, you've got something there, Barbara. This man was after the ring. You mind if I take it with me? I'll return it later.
You're certainly welcome to it. If it means I'm going to have thugs breaking into my apartment, I can just as well return it to the miracle man.
Oh, no. That's one thing we're not going to do.
Well, why not?
Someone seems to be too anxious to get it back.
Well, you expert, Miss Sutton. There's no one dragged you into the newspaper business, did they?
You sound just like my father. No, I'm not complaining, really, Sergeant, but it is rather disconcerting to have a gunman break into your apartment and practically scare the wits out of you.
Oh, yes? You don't scare so easy. So he didn't take anything, did he?
Well, luckily luckily Kip came just in time. You see, I'd been talking to him on the phone when the door buzzer rang.
Ah, Kip's a good boy. I guess you know that.
I hope she knows I'm a good boy. Good afternoon, Sergeant.
Hello, Kip.
Hi, Bob.
Say, it's too bad you didn't get that sneak thief this afternoon.
I wouldn't call him that, Sergeant.
Why not? Now, listen. I've had 25 years of dealing with men just like that. What I'd have done was to let him get away with something. Then the rest is easy. You just check up on all the fences in town, trail your man that way, and before you know it, your crook is in jail.
Well, Sergeant, I have an idea that this man was after something else when he broke into Barbara's apartment. And I'll tell you why. Now, listen.
Tonight, we worked magic again.
Yes. Tonight at midnight, we have a voodoo to perform. This time, it is to be a young man.
Last night, old man died from voodoo. Will be buried tomorrow.
He deserved to die. He was cruel. He beat his wife and children. She came to me in tears to beg for help.
Wamba no, Wamba see.
Tonight, we work our black magic on a younger man. He is a thief, the greatest of thieves. He has stolen from his father.
Voodoo will be hard. Young man healthy, and Wamba's magic ring gone.
But the voodoo will work. It always does. And forget about the emerald ring.
Dagnabbit, Kip. Maybe there is something to what you say. I'll tell you what. Tonight at midnight, I'll go down there myself to this miracle man's place.
You want me to come with you?
No, not tonight. They know you, but they've never met me. You know the old saying, a new broom sweeps clean.
Well, what are you going to do, Sergeant? Arrest him?
No, I haven't got any evidence to arrest them on. For that matter, what charge have we got against them? But if, as Kip here says, that old emerald ring came from the Miracle Man's shop, and this gunman seems to be specially interested in it, then maybe...
You mean maybe the old woman, Wamba, knows something about it?
Now, that's possible, Miss Sutton. All right. I'm going down there tonight at about 11:30. And in plain clothes, too.
I feel important being taken to my office in a police car.
Quite a thrill, huh?
If you want to pick me up later, Kip, I have only about an hour's work to do. Little story about the triplets born on their mother's birthday up at the Northville Hospital this morning.
So they got you on that vital statistics stuff now.
Well, if you remember yesterday at the police station, you were asking about the list of people born, married, and dead. Well, that gave me the idea. I suggested it to Mr. Worthington, and there you are, another byline feature.
Babs, you may have a really startling story to write soon on almost the same subject.
Oh, I don't follow you, Kip.
It all depends on tomorrow morning's vital statistics list.
Kip, I wish you'd stop talking in riddles. Let me in on it. I'm dying of curiosity.
So am I. Here, let's pull in here for a minute under these trees.
Okay.
I've got something to tell you. Right about here'd be all right, I think. Nice and romantic, huh?
Oh, don't tell me that the great Berland is suddenly going romantic.
No, Babs, it's strictly business. Now, last night, at a little past midnight, the Miracle Man and Wamba claimed that their magic or voodoo killed a man.
Oh, Kip, are we going through all that again?
Well, it's been bothering. And now that this ring stuff has popped up and this little souvenir's around...
Why, that's the cap the gunman left in my apartment, isn't it? I'd forgotten all about it.
I didn't. McGinty and I checked it over, and there's no way of finding out who it belongs to. We'll get to the cap in just a minute. Now, last night, the old man and Wamba claimed they bumped off him.
Mm-hmm. We've been all through that, Kip.
Yet there's been no report of a violent death. And according to the vital statistics list, the only death of any kind that occurred around midnight was marked acute indigestion.
Well, so what?
Well, I've got the name of the man who died. He's due to be buried tomorrow afternoon. And right after dinner this evening, I'm going around to see his widow. And, young lady, maybe you'd like to join me.
No, thanks, Kip. I've got a story to write. Be glad to meet you afterward, though. Hey, Kip, what are you sniffing at that cap for?
Just wondering about something. Take a sniff of this, Barbara.
This all seems sort of silly, going around sniffing at old caps.
Go ahead, Babs. Go ahead, sniff it. Do you smell something familiar?
Yes. It isn't exactly perfume. I know I've smelt that scent before.
Think hard, Barbara. Could it be an incense of some kind?
Kip, you don't mean that you...
Yes, I do. That's the very same heavy incense we noticed at the Miracle Man.
Well, then, Kip... Oh, no, that's impossible. Why, the Miracle Man has a beard down to here. And he's old. He must be at least 90. The thug who broke into my apartment and wore that cap was young. Why, he couldn't have been more than about 35.
Yes, you're right. But there is such a thing as a disguise, you know.
Well, then, Kip, if it was the old man in disguise, then why would he want to take such methods to get back a ring which he just willingly presented to me as a gift?
I've thought of that. But there's something else in that place, and someone else who might want this ring.
You mean Wamba?
He might want it for some reason or other.
Kip, you're twisting that ring around in your hand as if you wanted to make a wish over it.
That's an idea. Hey, suppose you put it on, rub it, and make a wish. Here.
All right, this
Put it on.
doesn't make sense. Oh, what'll I say?
Oh, just put it on and rub it and say, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
You rubbing it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, alakazam.
Alakazam.
Make your wish now. Boop, skip to rat trap.
I'm still wishing. Rubbing, too. Boop, skip a rat trap.
Karam.
Garam.
Huh?
Kip, look. Look, the ring's open.
It what?
Rubbing it somehow caused it to open. Look.
Be careful, Babs. Don't touch it. Just hold your hand steady. There might be a poison spring in that ring.
Well, the stone just slid to one side on a sort of hinge. Look.
Can you beat that? There's some kind of powder in here. Here, let me take that ring. Now, wait. Close it first.
Oh.
That's it. Careful. Don't want to lose that powder.
Well, what are you going to do with it?
First, I'm going to have that powder analyzed. Next, I'm on my way to visit a recent widow. And last,
Yes?
tonight a certain Miss Barbara Sutton will accompany the Black Hood on a secret mission at midnight.
Come on, old woman. I didn't come down here at midnight to play ping pong. What's going on downstairs?
Private place of Miracle Man. No one go in.
Says you. I get in everywhere without showing a ticket to.
Miracle Man no like people, no have appointment.
Is that so? Well, get out of the way, old woman. I'm going down there right now.
You like the African pottery?
No, I ain't interested in old pots or pans neither. Just put it away. Out of my way, you old mummy.
Oh, too bad, no light.
And so Wamba insisted that Sergeant McGinty pay some attention to her African pottery. Crashing the heavy vase on McGinty's head, down goes the good sergeant. Wamba has made good her claim that no one goes into the private chambers of the Miracle Man without an appointment. Now, what will she do with the unconscious McGinty? And what about the Black Hood? Has he been able to discover anything more about the Emerald Ring and the strange powder? If Wamba intends to harm McGinty, can the Black Hood and Barbara arrive in time to save him? Be sure to listen tomorrow for more thrilling adventures of the Black Hood. The Black Hood is a copyright feature of the MLJ Comic Magazine Group and is broadcast over most of these stations Monday through Friday at 5:15 p.m. This is Mutual.
You just heard from the Black Hood here on Comic Book Action Theater. I like the intro of that show, actually. I think I should maybe use that more. I'd love to have a gong of my own. Let's try this again. You just heard from the Black Hood right here on Comic Book Action Theater. Next show we're going to play is another popular MLJ character, probably the most famous MLJ character, the reason that the company is still in business today. Archie on some more old-time radio goodness.
Ice cold beer.
Why did you pour it from the can into the glass? It loses so much through the air.
No, not that Archie. Archie Andrews, along with Jughead and Betty and Veronica and all the rest, here on Comic Book Action Theater.
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again. The young familiar readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well Archie Andrews and all his gang. And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's early evening as we look in on the Andrews home. Archie is in his room studying. Mr. Andrews has gone downtown for some cigars, and Mrs. Andrews is straightening up the living room.
Lavender blue, dilly dilly. Lavender green. For pity's sake, what on earth's that? All right, I'm coming. Fred, what on earth were you... Fred, what's that?
Mary, look out of my way. This box is heavy. I can't hold it all night.
Oh, Fred, what is it?
You'll see, dear. You'll see. Now, quick, move that lamp over so I can set this down.
All right.
There. Boy, that weighs a ton. I should have let him deliver it, but I was so anxious to use it, I brought it home myself.
But, Fred, what is it?
You'll see in a minute, dear. Now, just be patient, be patient. Now, just hand me the scissors off my desk, and I'll open it.
All right, dear. But I don't see why it has to be such a mystery.
No mystery at all. Just want to surprise you.
Well, you said you were going downtown for some cigars, and you come back with this.
Well, I found the store was still open, and I bought it. You know, I've been wanting to buy one for a long time.
But wanting what?
Well, you'll see. I almost have the box cut open now.
Oh.
There you are, dear. How do you like that?
Fred Andrews, a television set.
Uh-huh.
Why, Fred, I never dreamed you'd buy a television set. The last time I asked you about one, you said they cost too much money.
I know, dear, but they've come down quite a bit in price, and I decided we might as well keep abreast of the times. Do you like it?
Oh, Fred, I love it. I adore it. When can we see something on it?
Well, the man at the store is sending someone out to install the aerial in 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
But he said we should be able to get 1 or 2 stations right now without any aerial.
Why, Fred, that's wonderful.
Yes, Mary, I think it is, too.
From now on, I expect to spend many a long, comfortable hour right in my armchair watching television. Yes, sir. Boxing matches, movies, Broadway reviews, everything right in my own living room.
Fred, never mind the speeches and turn it on. I want to
Hiya, Mom. Hiya, Dad. What's that?
Why, Archie, that's
a television set.
Yes,
Gee whiz,
Archie,
when did we get it?
Well, just
oh, boy, isn't that terrific?
Yes,
when can
Archie.
we see something on it? Just wait till I tell the kids that we got a television set. Oh, boy,
Archie.
thanks a million,
Archie,
Dad.
you're-
Thanks a billion.
Archie.
Thanks a zillion. Oh, gee,
Archie! All right. So you're happy we got a television set. Now, will you please calm down? I carried this set all the way home so I could see something on it tonight.
She was okay, Dad, but will it work without an aerial,
Well, the man said we might be able to get 1 or 2 stations before they install the aerial.
Oh, boy, that's swell. Turn it on, Dad. Turn it on.
Now, in a minute, Archie, in a minute. But first, take this cotton and put it in the trash can. Now, I'll lift the set up and you pull the cotton out.
Okay, Dad.
Go ahead, Archie.
Got it, Dad.
There.
I'll be right back. Oh, boy, a television set.
Now, Mary, all I have to do is plug it in and we'll see what
Fred,
we... Yes, dear?
before you plug it in, we've got to put it in a better place than that.
Well, what's wrong with where it is?
Fred, you can't leave it in the center of the room like this. It ought to be off in a corner so everyone in the room can see it.
Well, maybe you're right.
Put it on that end table over there.
All right, Mary. I'll just lift it up and put it down here. There. How's that?
Oh, no.
Yes, I thought you did. Oh, no. Mary, what's wrong with it here?
Well, that table's too low. We'd practically have to lie on the rug to see anything.
Well, it is a little low, isn't it?
Certainly is. Fred, I know. Put it on the bookcase over there.
Well, all right, dear. That should be better. I'll pick it up again.
Can I help?
No, just look out of my way. There. Now, how's that?
Oh, Fred, no.
Yes, it is, my dear. No? Mary, now what's wrong with it?
It was too high.
Oh, but
the only place to put it is on your desk over there.
On my desk? But, Mary, it'll cover the whole desk.
Fred, it will not cover the whole desk. Do you want to see something on this set, or do you just want to put it where it's out of the way?
Oh, me. All right, Mary. On the desk it goes. There. Now, how's that?
Fred, that's fine. See, it only takes up about half your desk.
Half the desk. Oh, sure. That's great.
Fred, that's the perfect location for it. Just the right height, and you can see it from every part of the room.
Yes, Mary, I suppose you're right. But for Pete's sake, let's hook it up. I want to see something for my money.
All right, dear. Go
I
ahead.
threw the
Plug it
cotton
in.
away, Dad.
Yes.
Gee whiz. You're not going to keep the set over there, are you?
Well, yes, Archie. What's wrong with keeping it there?
Oh, gee whiz, Dad, you're supposed to face the set away from the light. And that way it faces right toward the window and you won't be able to see a thing on it in the daytime.
Oh, good grief. It does face the window, doesn't it?
I never thought of that. Fred, you'll just have to put it on the coffee table.
Yeah, on the coffee table? Mary, that's where I had it in the first place.
Well, it's the only place for it, I guess.
Oh, fine. All right, Mary. I'll put it on the coffee table. But I warn you, this is the last time I'm going to move this set. I want to turn it on, not lug it around the room all night.
Yes, dear. You won't have to move it again.
Well, all right. There. Now, for Pete's sake, let's see some television. Archie, plug this in.
Okay, Dad. It's in.
All right. Now, I'll turn it on.
Gee whiz, nothing happens.
Archie, give it a chance to warm up.
Fred, look, the screen lit up.
Yes, Mary, but we don't seem to be getting any picture.
I told you we'd need the aerial first, Dad.
Archie, look, the man said at least one of the channels should work without an aerial. Now, let's just dial around and see what we can find.
Fred, the screen flickered.
Flickered, yes, Mary. That's because I changed stations.
Oh.
But I don't see anything.
No, nothing on that channel. I'll try another.
Nothing there either. Nothing there.
Oh, dear. I hope we can see something.
It'd be just my luck that we won't. Well, how do you like that? I tried every channel, and we don't get a single thing.
I don't think you tried this one, Dad.
Now, Archie, I tried them all.
Gee, Dad, I was sure you missed this one.
Well, try them again if you want to.
All right.
How do you like that? Here I was looking forward to a nice evening, sitting in my armchair and watching television.
With us to beautiful India.
What was that?
I got it.
Fred, it's on.
Good grief, it is on. Archie, how did you do it?
I tried this channel, Dad, the one you missed.
Archie, that's wonderful.
And it's a travelogue.
Oh, yeah. About India.
Yes, India. Land of the Mohammedan, and Hindu.
Oh, swell.
Land of the elephant and the tiger. Land of gold and spices. India, land of mystery.
Well, how do you like that? We're going to see television tonight after all, and a travelogue.
I love travelogues.
Me too.
Fred, can't you get a better picture?
Better?
Yes, it's so gray.
Oh, all right, dear. I'll just adjust this gadget here. How's that?
No, that's too dark.
Well, how's that?
No, that's too light.
Well, how's this?
Fred, that's fine.
Yeah, Dad, that's fine. Gee, I wonder what that building is they're showing.
The Taj Mahal.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, the beautiful Taj Mahal. Most famous mausoleum in the world.
Well, come on, pull up some chairs, folks. Turn off the lights. We're all set to watch this travelogue.
Yeah, here's a chair, Dad.
Thanks, Archie.
I'll sit on the couch here.
And I'll sit in the armchair.
Fine. Now, turn off the lights, Archie, and we'll be able to see it nice and clearly.
Okay, Dad.
Oh, my, that makes quite a difference.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, boy, it sure is. Oh, this television is terrific.
Yes, it is.
The Taj Mahal was built in the 17th century by Shah Jahan for himself and his wife.
Boy, that Taj Mahal is a regular palace.
It sure is.
It is built of gold and precious jewels of every description. Historians tell us it took the labor of 20,000
Yes, dear.
men
Was that the doorbell?
working for 22
I didn't hear any
years
doorbell.
to
Neither
erect
did I.
this beautiful edifice.
Fred, I'm sure I heard the doorbell ring. Turn the set off so we can tell.
But, Mary,
Turn it off for just 1 second.
Oh,
And
all right.
possibly
There, it's off. Now, where's your... Oh,
There, I told you I heard it ring.
oh, great. I guess you did hear it at that.
Of course I did. Archie, turn the light on and go see who it is, dear.
She was okay, Mom. But I don't know why somebody had to come here just when we were watching our first television program. Hello. She was Jughead.
What'd you expect? A ghost rider in the sky?
No, Jughead, I did not expect a ghost rider in the sky, and I didn't expect you either. Come on in. I'm watching television.
Television? Archie, did you say television?
Yeah, we just got a new set, Jug.
Gee whiz. Oh, hello, Mr. Andrews.
Hello,
Mrs.
Jughead.
Andrews.
Hello, Jughead.
Gee whiz, you got a new television set, huh?
Yes, Jug, and
Why don't you turn it on?
we turn it off
You can see
because
all kinds of swell programs on television.
Yes, Jug,
I
I-
always watch it over at Pinky Schultz's house.
Yes,
You
Jug,
can
but
see
I-
Howdy Doody. It's Howdy Doody time. It's Howdy Doody time.
Jughead,
And you can
I-
see Milton Berle. I'll give you a shot in the head. What the hey? What the hey?
Jughead, I...
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. I'm Kukla.
I'm Ollie.
I'm Fran. Toy.
Jughead, all right! So you're Howdy Doody, Milton Berle, and Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. Not to mention Toy. But I was watching a travelogue on India, and I want to watch it some more, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll even stay and watch it with you.
All right, Jughead, you may stay and watch it with us, but if
I
you-
better call my mother and tell her where I am, though.
Oh, fine. All right, Jughead. Go call your mother.
Okay. Boy, I'm sure glad you folks got a television set.
Mary, I can see a television set has certain disadvantages.
Riverdale 689, please.
Gee whiz, Dad, turn the set on before we miss the whole thing.
I am, Archie, I am.
And so we come to Bombay, chief seaport of Western India.
Hello? Mom?
The city with
What?
a population of
I can't hear
1.5
you.
million people
Speak
is
a little louder.
situated on the island of Bombay.
Louder.
It is
Louder.
connected to the mainland by this causeway
I still
and
can't hear you.
breakwaters.
Just a minute, Mom.
Bombay
Mr. Andrews?
contains many of the
Fred,
finest
Jughead's calling you.
hotels,
Me?
factories,
What is it, Jughead?
office
Could you
buildings,
turn the set off for a minute? I can't hear anything.
What?
Turn
no
the set
town
off.
Yeah, but Jughead, I'm
Fred,
watching...
turn it off for 1 minute.
Me. All right, Mary, I'll turn it off for 1 minute.
Cry.
Thanks, Mr. Andrews.
Jughead, you're welcome. But I'd like to know why I can't
Fred,
watch this.
Jughead will be through with his call in a minute. Then you can watch your travelogue.
Hello, Mom. This is me, Jughead. Yeah, I'm at the Andrews. I'm watching television. Yeah, television. Yeah, they just got a new set. What? I don't know where they got all their money.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be here for a little while. Yeah. Okay, I will. Bye.
Well, Jughead, are you through with your call?
My mother said I could stay.
Well, that's
She
fine.
said I could even have supper here.
Supper here? Oh, for pity's sake.
Gee whiz, Mom, what about getting some supper?
Oh, I forgot all about it in the excitement of your father's bringing home this television set.
Gee, you gotta get supper. I'm hungry.
Now, Jughead, be quiet. Fred, I'll have to go get supper.
All right, Mary, get supper, but I want to turn this set on.
Gee, Mom, I got a good idea. Why don't you have a light supper? Just a sandwich and some milk, and then we can eat right here and watch the television.
Why, Archie, that's a fine idea.
Yes, it is. Just make us some ham sandwiches or something.
All right, I'll bring them in when they're ready.
All right, now, for Pete's sake, let's have no more interruptions. I want to watch this travelogue.
Okay, Dad, turn the set back on.
All right, I'll turn the lights out.
Okay.
Now, I'll turn the...
Hey, what'd you do?
Jug, I
It's
just...
dark in here.
Jug,
I'm afraid of the dark.
Jughead, please.
I don't even sleep in the dark.
Jug,
It's too dark with the lights out.
Jughead, will you please be quiet?
Who, me?
Yes, you. We simply turned the lights out so we can watch the television better. Now, there's nothing to be afraid of. Archie and I are right here with you. And when I get the set turned on, it won't be quite so dark.
Well,
Now, just be quiet and sit down.
okay, I'll sit right here.
You Jughead, you're sitting on me.
Gee, I'm sorry. I couldn't see anything.
Well, get off me and get on your own chair.
Okay. I'll sit over here.
Jughead, you're sitting on me.
Gee whiz, I'm sorry.
Well, so am I, and get off me.
Okay. But where's my chair anyway?
To your right a little.
Oh, okay.
Well, what was that?
Jughead, what happened?
He sat down on the chair you told me was there, but it wasn't.
Oh, great. Jug,
A
did you...
fine trick that was, Archie.
Jug,
You
did
tell me there's a chair there, and when I lower my landing gear, no chair.
Jug, I just
You
wanted...
pulled that chair out from under me, I bet.
Jughead!
Huh?
Jughead, I did not pull any chair out from under you. You just missed the chair. It's right here, see?
Oh, yeah. I see it now.
Okay. Now, for Pete's sake, sit down on it.
And be quiet.
Okay.
Now, I'll turn the set on.
The River Ganges, some 1,500 miles long and 3 miles wide at the widest places, is the sacred river of India. It is the sacred duty of
Yes?
Hindus
Was that the door again?
to wash
I didn't
in the
hear it.
waters
I heard it.
of the Ganges.
Gee whiz, Dad, you better shut off the set again
And
so
it
we
is
can
used
tell.
in
Archie.
Well, it may
many
be something
religious
important.
rituals.
Oh, me, all right, Archie. I'll
As a
turn it
result,
off again.
It's
There, you see? I told you it wasn't the doorbell. Oh, fine. I guess it was the door.
I'll get it, Dad, as soon as I turn this light on. There. I sure wish people wouldn't keep ringing that doorbell when we're watching television.
Hello, Archie.
Well, gee, hiya, Betty. Come on in.
Well, thanks, Archie. Mother sent me over to return this salad bowl she borrowed from your mother.
Oh, okay, Betty. I'll give it to her. But, Betty, guess what we got?
What?
A television set.
A television set? Archie, you're kidding.
No, I'm not. Come on in and see. It's Betty, Dad.
Oh, hello, Betty.
Hello, Mr. Andrews.
Hello, Betty.
Hi, Jug. What are you doing here?
Watching television.
Golly, you do have a new set, don't you, Archie?
Yes,
It's
Betty.
a pretty
and we-
good set, too.
When'd you get it?
Well,
Just
we got
tonight.
Golly, does it work
We've
yet?
been watching the travelogue.
Jughead, whose set is this? Mine or yours?
I was just telling Betty about it for you.
Well, it's my set, and I'll tell her myself.
What's wrong
Archie,
with my telling?
Well, I wanted
Archie,
to
I
tell her, and I don't think that you...
Archie! Now, look. It so happens this is not Jughead's set or your set. It's my set. And I don't care who tells Betty about it. I want to watch it. Do you hear?
Yes, Dad.
Well, all right. Now, if Betty wants to watch it, she may. But I want all of you to sit down and be quiet.
Okay, Dad. Pull up a chair, Betty.
Well, all right, Archie, but I have to be home for supper soon.
Have supper here. I am.
Oh, fine. Jughead, who asked you to...
Golly, may I have supper here?
Well, gee, I guess so, Betty. We're just having some sandwiches right here so we can watch the television at the same time.
Great. Archie, will you please be quiet? I want to turn the set on.
Okay, Dad, okay, but I better tell Mom to make enough for Betty, too.
Oh, fine. All right, Archie, tell your mother...
Sandwiches and milk, dear. Oh, Betty, hello.
Hello, Mrs. Andrews.
Betty's staying for supper, Mom.
What? Oh, that's fine, dear, fine. But I'll have to take this tray back and make some more sandwiches.
Oh, golly, if you don't have enough, Mrs.
Oh, no, I
Andrews.
have enough, dear. I just have to make them, that's all.
Oh, all right, Mrs. Andrews, if it's no trouble.
Well, Betty, it's all set now.
Thanks, Archie.
All right. Now, do you kids mind if I turn the set on?
Well, go ahead, Dad.
All right. Now, turn the lights out.
Okay, Dad.
Now, I'll turn the set on. I want to see the Ganges River.
towering peaks of the Himalayas, greatest mountain range in the world.
Oh, great. We missed the part about the river.
The Himalayas extend approximately 2,000 miles along northern India
Well, Betty, how do you like it?
From 100
Golly,
to
Archie, that's
600
awful.
miles.
Yeah, awful.
Awful? What's awful about it?
Well, the glare is so strong.
Glare.
Uh-huh. Hey, you're supposed to wear sunglasses when you watch television.
Sunglasses?
Uh-huh. Then you can see the picture much better, and it's better for your eyes, too.
Yeah.
They wear sunglasses at Pinky Schultz's house.
Gee whiz, Dad, turn the set off and I'll run upstairs and get our sunglasses.
Archie, I can see this picture perfectly well without glasses.
But just try glasses, Mr. Andrews, and you'll see what a difference it makes.
Yes, but Betty, I...
Yeah, it's much better.
Jug,
You don't want our eyes to go bad, do you?
Oh, me. All right, Archie, I'll turn the set off again.
I'll turn the lights on.
Well, go ahead, get sunglasses. But frankly, I could watch this program a lot better if you kids wouldn't give me so many bright suggestions on how to watch it.
I think our sunglasses are right down here in this drawer. Yeah, here they are. Here are yours, Dad.
Thank you.
And you can wear my mother's, Betty.
Oh, thanks, Archie.
And I'll put mine on.
What about me?
You can just squint.
Squint! Squint! Oh, you don't care about me.
Jug,
I can go blind for
Jug,
you. Care. It doesn't matter if the glare bothers my
Jug,
eyes.
head, for Pete's sake, be quiet.
Who, me?
Yes, you. You can wear my glasses.
Oh, golly, Mr. Andrews, what'll you wear?
Betty, I did not want any sunglasses in the first place. The picture was absolutely fine the way it was, but I want to see it. If you kids will only sit still and not keep making many bright suggestions.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Andrews.
All right, all right. Now, turn the lights out, Archie.
Okay, Dad.
Now, I'll turn the set on. You know, those pictures of the Himalaya mountains are interesting.
Is the Bengal tiger the largest type of tiger found anywhere?
Oh, great. We missed the part about the mountains.
Gee, that's the first green tiger I ever saw.
Jughead, that's because you're wearing colored glasses, and be quiet.
The Bengal tiger generally hunts its food near waterholes and small ponds, waiting for deer, antelope, wild hogs, and buffalo.
Oh, I can see much better now, can't you, Archie?
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
It cuts out all the glare. You ought to try them, Mr. Andrews.
Betty,
Here, try mine, Dad.
Archie,
I can't see a thing.
Oh, great. If you kids like the sunglasses, wear them. If you don't like them, don't wear them. But I want to watch this travelogue. Do you hear?
Okay, Dad, okay.
Tigers have been known to kill 32,000 cattle in India in a single year. Here you see the natives
Gee whiz.
preparing
Now what?
to trap a
The
tiger.
door again.
What? I didn't hear it.
Oh, I did, Mr. Andrews.
I did too.
Turn the set off, Dad. You'll see.
Oh, me. All right, Archie, I'll turn it off. But so help me, if that bell doesn't stop
And with
ringing,
a good
I'm going to
light
disconnect it and nail the
We'll
door
be
shut.
able to shoot.
There, it's off. And
See, Dad, it is the bell.
oh, me. Well, go answer it, Archie, and hurry up.
Okay, Dad, I'll turn the light on. I sure wish we could watch that travelogue for just 1 minute. Boy.
Hello, Archie.
Oh, fine.
Hi, y'all, Archiekins. It's awful good to see y'all, Archie. Dear. What on earth are you doing wearing sunglasses in the house?
Oh, these? Well, I'm wearing them to watch television, Veronica.
Television?
Uh-huh.
My goodness, do you have a television set?
Yeah, come on in and see it.
All right, I'd love to. Oh, hello, Miss Strangers.
Hello, Veronica.
Hello, Betty. Hello, Jughead.
Hi, Veronica.
My goodness, are you all watching television?
Uh-huh. And we're all having supper here, too. You want some, Veronica?
Oh, great. Jughead, would you please quit
Well, I'd
inviting
love to. I don't have anything special to do anyway.
Oh, me. Order another sandwich, Archie.
Okay, Dad.
Well, here are the sandwiches. Oh, Veronica.
Hello, Mrs. Andrews.
Veronica's staying for supper, too, Mom.
Staying for supper. But Archie, I just finished making all the sandwiches.
Well, couldn't you make just one more, Mom?
Oh, dear. All right. Take this tray back and make some more sandwiches.
You can leave my sandwich here.
Jug, be quiet. Now, Veronica, will you please pull up a chair and sit down? This set has been off and on 10 times in 10 minutes, and I'm getting
My
sick.
goodness, that's not a very large screen, is it?
No, Veronica, I guess it
The
isn't.
screen on our set's about twice that size.
Yes, Veronica,
We
I
get
know
a
there
good
is
large picture on our set.
Veronica,
I don't know how you can see anything on this set.
Veronica, all right. I can't see anything on this set when it's turned off. Will you please sit down?
All right, Mr. Andrews, I won't say another word.
All right. Now, I'll just turn this... Oh, fine.
Yes, Mom?
I have so many sandwiches and so many glasses of milk now. I need someone to help me carry this tray in.
Okay, Mom. Jughead, you go help Mom.
Me?
Yes, Jug, you. I've been hopping up and down to answer the door every 2 minutes, and I want to see some of this travelogue.
Gee whiz, okay, I'll go, but I don't know why.
Well, now, if you have that settled, may I turn on this set? I want to see them capture that tiger.
Oh, sure, Dad. I'll turn the lights out.
All right. Now, I'll turn the set on.
Known as the island of Ceylon.
Oh, fine. We missed the tigers.
See, I guess this is about how they grow tea.
Ceylon is in the Indian Ocean, 60 miles southeast of Hindustan.
Here comes the food.
With an
Oh, great.
Turn the lights on.
Oh, no, you don't, Jug. You can pass the sandwiches out with the lights off. It's not that dark
Ceylon
in
is
here.
famous
Well,
throughout
okay.
the world.
Wait till I set this tray down someplace.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm all wet.
Gee whiz, I spilled a glass of milk.
Right down my back.
Oh, gee whiz.
I'm all wet.
Jughead spilled a glass of milk down Veronica's back.
Oh, Fred, turn the set off.
I am.
Oh.
Archie, turn the lights on.
I'm trying to, Dad. Oh, here it is. There.
Oh, dear. Veronica's dress is sopping wet.
I asked somebody to turn the lights on.
Jughead, never mind whether you ask somebody to turn the light on or not. And Veronica, please stop that crying. Veronica, please,
My dress is ruined.
Veronica,
My dress is ruined.
Veronica,
I'm gonna go home in a wet dress, and it's a brand new dress.
Veronica, look, I'll buy you a new dress.
You will?
Oh, fine. Yes, I will. And you can go upstairs with my wife, and she'll lend you one of her dresses to go home in.
Oh, all right, Mr. Andrews. That'll be fine.
I hope my dresses fit you, Veronica.
Well, we have that settled. Now, for Pete's sake, let's watch this program and eat your sandwiches and have no more trouble.
Okay, Dad. Okay, I'll turn the light out.
And I'll turn the set on.
Notice the extremely
Pass the sandwiches,
primitive
Jughead.
bombing methods
Pass the sandwiches?
used by
I don't have them.
You don't? Betty, do you have them?
No, I didn't even see them.
Will you kids please be quiet?
Well, gee, Dad, we're just looking for the sandwiches.
Where did you put them?
On your armchair.
All right, I can find it. On my armchair. Oh, good grief, I'm sitting on them.
Golly. Oh, boy. Mr. Andrews is hatching ham sandwiches.
Turn the set off.
I am. Archie, turn the light on.
I am, Dad.
Fred, why on earth did you sit on a sandwich?
Mary,
I'm hungry.
And we're missing the whole program.
Archie,
Those
never mind.
sandwiches are ruined.
Betty,
They didn't do your suit any good either.
Yeah,
Now,
and
just
I
a minute. Just 1 minute. This nonsense has gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
Yes, Mr. Andrews. Yes, dear.
Yes, Dad.
And how?
Jug, be quiet. Now, half hour ago, I wanted to settle down to a nice, comfortable evening in my armchair and watch television. But what happens? All of Archie's friends wind up here, invite themselves to supper, and keep interrupting my program. Jughead's afraid of the dark, and Betty wants sunglasses. And Jughead spills milk all over Veronica, puts sandwiches on my chair. Now, I have stood all I'm going to stand. You kids can watch television if you want to. But from now on, I want you all to be absolutely stock still. I don't want to hear a word out of any of you. Not a peep. You understand?
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
And I, by George, am going to spend the rest of the evening enjoying this television set, starting right here and now.
And so we conclude our telecasting for today.
What?
We'll be back on this same channel tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Good night.
Oh, no. I missed the only program they had on tonight.
The Andrews will be back in just a moment, but first, you know, folks, you're lucky you live in America, the land of opportunity, because where else can you save in the safest, surest investment in the world? The United States government and your own future besides. Where else would you have the opportunity to make $75 grow into $100 in only 10 years without any more effort on your part than signing your name? Yes, I'm referring to savings bonds. United States savings bonds through the payroll savings plan where you work. Start saving now during the big opportunity drive. Sign up for the payroll savings plan. It's a plan where you put a little money aside every payday, regular as clockwork. And pretty soon it mounts up. A plan that saves for you automatically. saves in savings bonds that pay you at that famous $4 for every 3 rate in 10 short years. If you aren't on a payroll, join the bond-a-month plan where you bank. And during this opportunity drive, buy an extra savings bond whenever you can. Put more opportunity into your future. Invest in United States savings bonds now and often. And now, back to the Andrews. It's later that evening. Archie's friends have all gone home, and peace and quiet have returned to the household.
Fred, I'm terribly sorry we had all that trouble and you missed the only program we could see tonight.
Now, Mary, look, it doesn't matter. In a few days, they'll hook up our aerial and we'll be able to watch a lot of channels and see all the television we want. But right now, if you don't mind, I'd rather forget the entire episode. I don't want to hear any more about television tonight.
I don't blame you, dear. But, Fred, you better hurry and get dressed.
Dress? Dress for what?
We promised the Hendersons we'd come over tonight.
The Hendersons? The Hendersons? Mm-hmm. We did? Oh, Mary, that's fine. Why, there's nothing more I'd enjoy right now than a good game of bridge.
Oh, Fred, I forgot to tell you. We're not going to play bridge.
We're not? We're not?
No. The Hendersons just got their set hooked up, and they invited us to watch television.
Oh, no!
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Charles Jampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie was played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone, Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Sherman and Cliff Hall, Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. The television voice was John McGovern. This program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Remember that starting June 8th, Archie Andrews will be heard over most of these stations on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Meanwhile, listen next Saturday morning at our regular time when we bring you more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Dick Dudley wishing you all a very pleasant weekend. So long!
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
You just heard from Archie and his gang. You're right here on Comic Book Action Theater. Hope you enjoyed this episode, folks. We want to once again thank Rik Offenberger for doing the interview regarding the MLJ Companion and all the characters from MLJ and the Archie Comics universe. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you next time.